You're watching the Red Zone Sports Show on Fox 5.
Hey, 40 minutes, fellas. 40 minutes of energy. Let's go.
The Runnin' Rebels have their swagger back. Straight ahead in the Red Zone, UNLV responds to an emotional week with two solid 40-minute performances. New interim head coach Todd Simon is in studio to talk about everything on and off the court. And we take a look ahead to what is a crucial road swing through Logan and Reno to try and get above 500 and right back in the thick of the race. The Red Zone is all run and gun with a lot of flash right now.
This is the Fox 5 Red Zone Sports Show, presented by RC Willey. Your home, your way.
Good evening and welcome inside the Red Zone. Thanks for dropping in. Kevin Bollinger alongside Runnin' Rebels interim head coach Todd Simon. I know this has been a roller coaster week with the highs of being named a collegiate head coach for the first time, but also at the expense of your friend's job.
Yeah, it's certainly a gut-wrenching experience with Dave being such a close friend and obviously working for him and under him for 2.5 years, and feeling for those players in the locker room, the uncertainty and just the change, a lot of change, but the guys, really proud of the guys, how they kind of handled the adversity and internalized it and turned it into a little bit of fuel to get better.
Yeah, it's so hard and it's so rare that a change is made mid-season in college basketball. How do you make sure that this team doesn't fracture apart at the first sign of trouble, a first loss here as we move forward?
We try to keep everything in perspective, and that was an important point for this group. They had to understand, they've all been through stuff in their life, and they have to point back to those adverse situations and understand that, as we go through this adversity, this is, becoming a mentally tough unit, is going to transcend not just this season, but it's going to help you in life. And so we tried to provide, some life lessons for these guys, and hopefully that'll apply when we face a little bit of adversity as we get through this tough conference.
As we move through the season and we're at the midway point, do you plan on making any drastic changes in terms of the style of basketball that this team's going to be playing?
We did a little bit of that this week in terms of just small changes. I mean, we obviously have picked up the pressure back 94 feet consistently and demanded it. It's kind of one of our non-negotiables that we kind of established here going forward. Is we want to do that, and we're going to be a little more aggressive with some surprising traps and make teams a little bit off balance. And then offensively, we really wanted to open it up. We wanted to give them a little more freedom, demand that they run on makes and misses, and not look over your shoulder quite as soon. I mean, there's a time and place, a little bit later in the shot clock that we'll get you in a set, if we need to get organized. But the initial run, we're gonna give them some structure, give them some rules. This is what we will do and won't do, and then play out of that.
They're certainly off to a good start this week. The Todd Simon era began with a bang on Tuesday night as UNLV took on old rival New Mexico. A warm greeting for Todd Simon as the interim head coach took the lead at UNLV for the first time. The Runnin' Rebels responded early. Steven Zimmerman Jr. with the nice move inside for the bucket. Then Pat McCaw passes up the three and drives to the hole for two. And Big Zim shows his defensive presence with the block. The defense ramped up. Colin Neal turns it over and the Rebs run. McCaw drops it back to Zim and he slams it home. Then the feed to Ben Carter. He gets the hoop and the harm as UNLV went on an 8-0 run to jump out to an 11-4 lead. Jerome Seegers goes hard to the hole for the deuce. And Ike Wamu fights for the loose ball. He heads the other way and he throws it down. Jalen Poyser follows with a floater in the lane. But New Mexico stayed close early as Jordan Hunter drives for the lay-in to knock things up at 19. The Rebels responded with another run as Carter makes some moves, goes down low and goes lefty. And Seegers gets inside for another bucket. Jordan Cornish hit a three-pointer, and more defense as McCaw strips to start transition. Seegers finishes on the other end. Zim got another touch inside, and Wamu pops a triple as the lead opened up to 11. Late in the half, Elijah Brown hits a three, but UNLV went into the locker room with a 34-28 lead, despite shooting just 2 of 16 from three-point range. The second half started with a bang. Zim with authority to get things revved up. McCaw hit a three from the corner. Zim picked up another block inside, and McCaw dials long distance again. Seegers worked down low for another lay-in. Wamu stroked a jumper, and Poyser picked up the lay-in down low as the lead was built to 15. More inside play as McCaw drives for the bucket and the foul. And outside, Cornish nailed another three. Simon was pumped up. With a commanding lead, UNLV kept the pressure on. Dwayne Morgan with the lay-in. Wamu with another triple. Zim gets the hoop and the harm. And the capper done the way the Rebels want to play. Seegers with the penetration and the kick out to Wamu for the trade. A fun night at the Thomas & Mack and some key stats turned around. Only 7 turnovers, a 24-7 advantage in points off turnovers, 82% free throw shooting, and 36 points in the paint as the swagger was back and the Rebels roll 86-74.
One thing that we were talking about is using all the stuff that's been going on as fuel and fueling our energy to play. And we came in here saying that this is a business game, and but to mainly have fun, because at the end of the day we're playing basketball. So we're taking it serious, but we're trying to have fun at the same time.
You said coming into this game that you wanted to clean up the turnovers and the free throw shooting, and mission accomplished based on what we saw Tuesday night.
Yeah, you got to give the credit to the guys. You know, they took ownership and hey, enough's enough with the turnovers. And we kind of agreed, look, if we're going to have careless turnovers, obviously we want to stay aggressive, but we got to cut those out of our game. And if those are going to start to happen, they pile up. There's just got to be next man up. And to a man, they all agreed to do what we need to do. That needs to be the case. And free throws, we just repped them out. We are a good free throw shooting team. They had to just feel, when they go to the line, we've shot so many that we deserve this ball to go in, and that's kind of been our philosophy.
Defensively, fans have been waiting to see the full court pressure all season long consistently. We're starting to see that now, as you said, at 94 feet, but also in the half court, the intensity was a little bit different with this team, more of a kind of slap the hands on the floor and dig in.
Yeah, we've had stretches this year where we've been tremendous, and even going into this week, we've had very good defensive numbers overall. But a little bit more of forcing tempo from our defense is kind of a little bit of a slight change in what we're trying to do, because we think we can score off of our defense more than we have. And so what we did is, we just started trapping maybe a little more aggressively, started to keep people on their heels, and just took no plays off in terms of getting up underneath people.
Steven Zimmerman had his best game as a running Rebel there on Tuesday night, and a lot of it had to do with a lot more inside touches for all the players in the offense.
Yeah, paint touches is a huge deal for me and for our team. Just great things happen when you can get the ball and just touch the lane, whether it's through the post, driving the ball in transition. That usually leads to feet set threes, that leads to shots around the basket, it gets you to the free throw line. So a lot of the good stuff happens when you can get in there and collapse the defense.
There was a sense of uneasiness, I think, in the crowd to begin this game because people didn't really know how this team was going to react. I called it a controlled passion. Is that how you would characterize it?
Yeah, it was very emotional, but also very businesslike. We tried to play a little bit relaxed. Hey, we've gotten through this. Let's turn the page. We know, we had some very good practices Sunday night, Monday, great long shoot around on Tuesday, but they're very understanding of this is what we need to do going forward, and if you do these things, we're going to be just fine. So there was almost a quiet confidence going into that game, but they were passionate to try to see, how they really wanted to show what they could do.
Well, they certainly continue that on Saturday. We're going to take a short break, but up next, we're recapping Saturday night's win over Air Force, and there were a lot of highlights in this one. The run and gun, the dunks, and the defense. Something for everybody in this one. It's all coming up on the backside of the break as the Red Zone rolls on.
You're watching the Fox 5 Red Zone Sports Show, presented by RC Willey. Your home, your way.
Saturday night, Air Force came into town, and the Academy can give teams fits, but on this night, UNLV set the tone and didn't let up.
Hey, 40 minutes, fellas. 40 minutes of energy. Let's go. 40 minutes on 3. 1, 2, 3. 40 minutes.
The running Rebels came out strong and used their size advantage early and often. Dwayne Morgan got things rolling with the offensive rebound and putback. Morgan went inside again as UNLV raced out to a 6-0 lead. Derrick Jones Jr. was strong throughout. Here, following his own miss, and he followed with a jumper. Then Ben Carter cleaning up on the glass for the bucket. Jerome Seegers was hot from outside, nailing back-to-back threes. Morgan muscles again, grabbing the loose ball for the deuce. The highlight reel revved up for Jones. Jordan Corners with the alley-oop to DJ for the slam and the slap. The three-point play made it 25-5. The plays kept coming. Carter, the touch pass to Jones for the dunk. And the defense as Jones gets a vicious block. Things clicking on all cylinders. The outside shooting was scorching as well. Seegers with the three. McCaw follows with a triple of his own, and Ike Wamu dials it up from long distance twice. The Rebs in transition. Corners drops it back to Steven Zimmerman Jr., who rattles the rim. A near perfect 20 minutes, capped by McCaw's three, and UNLV went into the locker room up 53-25 at the half. The second half was about maintaining the intensity, and there would be no lapses. Seegers hit a three. Big Zim works down low and goes glass for the bucket. McCaw feeds Zim, and he flies through the air and throws it down. Cornish gets in on a three action, and then the feed to a streaking Jones. He gets the hoop in the horn to extend the lead to 37. The razzle-dazzle as Seegers goes behind the back to Zim for the bucket and the foul. Cornish hits another three, and Jones follows with a tray as well. The only question left, would UNLV hit the century mark? And for the second time this season, it is Austin Starr doing the honors. The walk-on from Foothill High School hits the three, and it was a party at the MAC. The Rebels shoot 50% from the field, 19 of 20 from the free throw line. Out-rebounded Air Force 52-20, including 20 offensive rebounds, and led wire to wire as they cruise to a 100-64 win.
It's a great team win. We went out and we executed our plays, and we did what we had to do.
Everybody know what the situation was, and guys were probably playing a little uptight, and everybody knew that how coach felt. So, I mean, I think now it's like we hit rock bottom, so it's like it's only up from here.
Me and the team, we think we can still, win the league. Point blank period. Just take it game by game, like Rome said, and we'll see where we at the end of the year.
A couple of interesting stats to come out of this. UNLV now has led wire to wire in 5 games this season. They only did that twice last year and put 100 points up on Air Force for the first time ever. The scoring average also at 77.3 points. That's the highest scoring average that they've had since 2001, if it stays this way. Mm-hmm. In this game, it started on the offensive boards, and that intensity carried really to both ends of the floor.
It certainly did. I really liked how we started this game. The intensity was great. It was really, really difficult for them to get into offense. And, obviously 52-20 in the rebounding margin, which was just absolutely phenomenal, especially for an area that we struggled with early in the season.
We've seen the run and gun return a little bit, and the players have said this week that you told them the first 10 seconds of the shot clock was theirs, and then it's time to get into the half-court set. How important was that to kind of free them up to get that style going again?
Yeah, what we did is we gave them some structure. They know where they're running to. They know it's basically a spread set for the first 10 seconds. Gave them just a little bit of structure. Gave them, a set of rules. There's some rules to it. Don't do this, don't do that, and you can do whatever you want. It kind of puts the carrot out there to run the floor, to optimize that time.
Free throw shooting, 19 of 20 in this game, and good free throw percentage on Tuesday night. They put up how many free throws? 2,000 this week in practice, they were guessing?
Yeah, and that only counts makes. We don't count misses, but it was good for them. We have the time, we have the facility, and there's nothing that we can't control in terms of getting the reps up.
You heard the players talk about how there was almost a sense of the stress being lifted off of them after this situation. How freeing, in a weird sense, has this been for them? Because I know that they wanted to play and win so hard for Coach Rice, but now that part's over, will that allow this team to just go out and play?
I think so. There's something, all of the the external pressures and that stuff builds for anyone, in particular a group of 18 to 22-year-olds that are trying to navigate through that little maze of life at that time, and you have a lot of outside considerations and stuff that kind of runs through your mind, and it started to become almost every possession where guys were, they really wanted to win. It wasn't that they didn't want to win. Sometimes when you really want to win, you maybe do more than your job, and it's been kind of a point of emphasis: just do your job, and we'll be just fine. And if everyone just does their job, and you don't need to do more than that.
Well, we got to keep the train rolling, and it is time to start looking ahead to this week. UNLV looking to become road warriors. We're breaking down Utah State and UNR and what needs to be done to get two crucial wins away from home. That's in 2 minutes. Stick and stay.
This hair-raising play of the week is brought to you by Vegas Valley Hair.
Showtime back in the Thomas & Mack. Jordan Cornish with the alley-oop to Derek Jones Jr. for the highlight reel slam and the slap. Check it out again as the play is worked to perfection with the and one to bring the Runnin' Rebel fans to their feet, earning this week's hair-raising play of the week.
You're watching the Fox 5 Red Zone Sports Show, presented by RC Willie. Your home, your way.
The Rebels are back on the road this week as they head to Utah State and UNR with a chance to get above 500 in the Mountain West.
Tuesday night, the Runnin' Rebels traveled to Logan to take on Utah State in their only meeting this year. The Aggies were dealt a big blow just before the season started when David Collette left the team, and that plays into the Rebels' hands, especially after Collette dominated them last year at the Thomas & Mack. Utah State wants to play up-tempo offensively and play deny defense. They're doing it with an experienced team that has just about everyone but Collette back from last year. Legendary coach Stu Morrill retired, and his longtime assistant Tim Duria took over to help with a smooth transition.
We can really shoot the ball. We're a very unselfish team. Our kids love to play together. We can score at the block. We're very balanced, and hopefully those are the things that are going to make us hard to guard and give us a chance every night.
One off-court factor to consider in Logan is the crowd. It is always nuts at the Spectrum, one of the best environments in the country.
I feel bad for other teams sometimes. It's just a crazy atmosphere. Just a lot of people there, and definitely a home court advantage.
The road trip continues Saturday night with the big in-state rivalry as the Rebels travel to Reno to take on UNR, a team that has beaten UNLV 3 out of the last 4 regular season meetings. The Wolfpack always get up for this one.
Definitely a game that's circled on our calendar.
But UNR will have to do it without the guy who killed UNLV on the boards the last few years. A.J. West quit the team mid-season, which hurts them in the rebounding department. New head coach Eric Musselman knows that he has a lot of rebuilding to do in Reno, but says he has enough to be competitive right now. But the Wolfpack want to run, going so far as to only use a 24-second shot clock during practice to speed up play.
He definitely wants us to push the ball and try to score a lot in transition and just keep running and get to them corners and just space out because it'll give everybody more area to operate.
Every game in the Mountain West is tough, but these are two roadies with distinct challenges. A tough environment at elevation and a rivalry game. Get through this week unscathed and things are back on track.
Utah State on Tuesday night. No David Collette, but a lot of weapons still for the Aggies that you have to contend with.
No question. Jalen Moore is one of the more dynamic players in our league. Chris Smith, I mean, these guys can really, really score.
And then on Reno on Saturday night, it is a rivalry game, and I know that the players can buy into that. Reno's kind of had the upper hand during the regular season here in the last couple of years. What's the key to going up into Reno and kind of keeping this thing rolling?
We're going to be poised to execute. You know, we're going to value possessions, continue to rebound, do all the little things that have been adding up that we did this week. And we're going to have to continue to do that on the road now.
One last break for us. We're coming back with the Runnin' Rebels Plays of the Week. But as we head to the break, here's a look at how other Mountain West teams did over the weekend.
You're watching the Fox 5 Red Zone Sports Show, presented by RC Willie. Your home, your way.
The tough week kind of is behind you. Now a chance to kind of everybody catch your breath and move forward here.
Yeah, absolutely. Now it's a true test. Let's see how we can parlay this, on the road and in two difficult environments coming up for us.
We're looking forward to it. Coach, thank you very much. We'll see you next Sunday. We leave you tonight with the Runnin' Rebels Plays of the Week. Thanks for joining us in the Reb Zone, and good night.
When I think about the chance of being kicked into the curb, or when it really matters, I can't even say a word. But I'll never really know if all I ever do is wait. It's better late than never. Just say, hey, 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 hey. The fall is just the risk that I take to get you to remember my name.
The Fox 5 Red Zone Sports Show was presented by RC Willie. Your home, your way.